A good Nerv Shabbos, a good Nerv Shabbos. So we are in Parshas Tetzaveh. Parshas Tetzaveh, Shabbos Acher, Parshas Acher. We're going to be reading Parshas Acher, which is Mechias Amalek, eradicating Amalek. Very harsh words, Mechias Amalek. And then we have Purim coming up. This is Levitik. So, what's the deal? How do we align ourselves with it? What does it have to do with me? And how many actually fall into some sort of like a rebellious depression on Purim, like uncontrollably with that, you just can't snap out of it somewhat. But it's not for us. We're beyond that, way beyond that. It's a whole different ballgame over here. So let's go. We'll go quick. So you have an idea as to where we need to be and how to align with the energy. The first thing is that Abisha tells Moshe that you should tell the Bnei Yisrael that you should take to yourself Shemen Zayzach Koses Lamoyer, which means that as you were pressing, squeezing the olives, the oil that was lit, that we're lighting the menorah with, that Aaron was lighting the menorah with, it should be, there's many ways how you can press something. There's cold press, and then there's a regular press, right? When you juice, you want the best juice, you use a cold press, which is, it's just gets the first squeeze out of it, which has the most potent nutrients in it, and that fuels the body, which then you have the top level, which goes to the brain, and it's more effective this way. You have stronger fuel. So it's interesting that it says as Bnei Yisrael, because they were actually, I guess they were doing the work in it, but we're going to apply it to the way it applies to us. So first, let's go that we have, there is Chodesh Adar works together with Chodesh Nisan. Nisan is when we went out of Mitzrayim, and Chodesh Adar is a preparation to Nisan, which is exactly the way Elul and Tishrei was when there was Bris Olam, and Elul is where we prepare for Bris for that showdown, and that is done with Techir, which is through fear, which is restraint, not fear as we know as fear, but rather fear from a place of awe. And just touching on that for those who are new. And then we have other in Nisan. Nisan is everything done with Ava. Ava translates in English love. It's all about the love. It's all about honoring myself, noticing myself, getting in touch with my feelings, really getting it, not suppressing, having enough compassion for myself to say, no, let me feel what's going on over there. Fine. Other is a preparation to that. What does it mean as preparation? Because this is when it was there's a machlekes as to when the world was created. There's one Omer that says that it was created in Tishrei, and Elul, Chafei Elul in Tishrei. And then there's another Manda Omer that says that it was created in Nisan, which means that other is a prep to Nisan, which is what happens over there. Now, since Pesach is Nisan is done with Simcha, the Avodah is with Ava. So the preparation to Ava is Simcha. What is the Simcha? What are we celebrating for? We're celebrating that the creator of everything, this, let's just say the Koyer that created everything, Eibishter, he was excited that he's going to create it all B'Shvil Yisrael. As we know, B'ni B'chari Yisrael, the first thought that created had, the first thought that he ever had was B'ni B'chari Yisrael, was us Yidden. We are Neshamas. What does it mean, us Yidden? There was just the way you have let's just say the highest, the potent thought that you had in your life that created your business or built your house or whatever that was. He had a thought, and that thought is the soul that we have within us, our neshamas. That is it. Now, how do we know that B'Shvil Yisrael? Now, we also know that there is no past, no future, only the present moment. We're tapping into the present moment. So, if I had one thought in my mind, and there is no past and no future, then the only thing that's happening is the present moment, which is B'ni B'chari Yisrael. You can meditate on that. How do we know that we are in the center of attention? Yes, we hear that, we say that, but how do we physically know? We are working on the street. You're telling me something, and you give me an inspirational, it's very inspiring, but how do I know that I am the center of attention? Well, look at the data. The data is that you follow where is the eye of the storm. The eye of the storm is, as you can go through history, the Yidden were always in the center of the attention. Everybody wants a piece of the Yid. Everybody wants a center of that. What does that mean? We're not looking at it that they're coming after us, rather that we are the light, and there is tremendous pull, gravity pull in the center of the light to keep this thing in physical form, so to speak. So there's the proof that we are the center of attention, and it's really Israel. All right. Now, what is Amalek? What is Parsha Zachor? What is Parsha Zachor? Parsha Zachor is that we have to remember. What do we remember? I want you to take a moment of well-being. When you're feeling a moment of well-being, and there's different levels of well-being, it's called being centered. We have different moments in our day or in the month. You're looking forward to something, the moment has arrived, and as you are in the moment, you are centered, and immediately as you're in the moment, your critical self is starting to kick in. What is my critical self? So we have the right and the left. Moichen the Chachma, Moichen the Bina. So you have the right and the left. The right side is beyond logic, and he's fully centered. He is. That's where you, so to speak, celebrate yourself when you are aligned and you're centered. The left brain is that starts dissecting it and has to start making sense of it. Now, Amalek has corrupted our left brain, because really my left brain should be always thinking, always and only thinking about how to be better and how amazing everything is right now. But instead, the critical brain comes in and he starts putting in different fears. Maybe it's not so, but what's going to be if yes, no, I'm not going to do this because maybe it's not going to turn out the right way. Now, by simply thinking that way, by simply putting in that level of doubt, you have just put you just put a plastic on top of it. You just covered it. You just dampened the mood. We are what we think, and from what we think to what we are isn't that much space. It's happening instantly. If I think positive, it happens instantly. If I think, if I listen to something exciting, I feel it immediately. There's no delayed process over here. Now, Amalek he's the one that he infiltrated. He catches you when you're on your way, when you're in the middle, when you're vulnerable, positive or negative, vulnerable when you are celebrating an amazing moment, and you are vulnerable because you're like, I'm amazing, and you're not looking out for any type of incoming danger because you feel safe, you're happy. That's where he grabs you. How does he grab you? Because he started already when we were still young. You had something when you were excited then, and you knew you're excited that you knew what you learned, or you were excited to share something, and somebody told you that you're not, just be quiet, or nobody was there to listen. So that is built into the system, and now the critical side comes. The critical part of the being shows up and starts corrupting the file. That is Amalek. Now, we're calling him out. We're calling him out by, we have the koyach. How do we call him out? By separating the water from the oil from the water. How? With simcha. Mechis Amalek is done with simcha. There is no negotiations. When you start negotiating with your critical side, when you start negotiating with your doubt, when you start negotiating with why is it this way? Why is this happening? But maybe I need to figure out. When you start that, it's an endless, bottomless pit that you will never climb out of. It's a swamp. You get deeper and deeper into it. So you have to show up with simcha. So the question is, if you show up with simcha, so you tell me that I should suppress my emotions? That was actually a question that came. You tell me that I should suppress my emotions. Well, basically, this is exactly what it's been going on for generations. Emotional suppression, which that's where high blood pressure comes from, and cholesterol, and all type back pain, the head pain, all clogs, and because then we feed that with garbage because it's a low frequency process of thinking. So what's the word? The word is that we have to find not just going into simcha, but really tapping into every squeeze that you have in your life, every challenge, look at it as an opportunity. Every challenge is the next mystery. The next mystery is your next step on the ladder to your way deeper into yourself. And that is done with simcha. When I'm approaching it from a place of simcha, which means that I'm bringing the magnifying glass with a big flashlight and I'm looking at it, I'm like, what is my lesson over here? What is my lesson over here? Which means, and I'll use a mashal here, that let's go with parnasa. How can I be happy when I'm having a struggle? I have my bills piling up. How can I be the simcha? I'm really struggling. Well, but maybe the message here is that you need to tap into more emunah. Emunah is not just a word that we say. It's been abused and molested for years and generations. But what is emunah? Emunah is a real thing. It's a very powerful frequency that if you tap into that, then you don't need, that will take you out from the enslavement of pare. Maybe the message here is that I need to get out of the business of that does not belong to me. I got to do what I got to do. And if I stop worrying, then what needs to happen after me putting in all this work is actually going to manifest instead of me getting in the way of it. You know, you have these toy cars that you rev them, you have to pull them back and then you let them go. You pull the wheels, tick, 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 and then you let it go and it goes, it moves. But if I keep pulling it back and back and back until the wheels, they break. You break the spring inside the car. The same thing is life. You're pulling back, you're revving, and now let go. Let it take you. You've done your status, now put a smile on your face and watch it happen. Watch the miracle happen. Because we have bechira, we have choice. Choice means that I have the ability, this machine has the ability to have a better day tomorrow. The computer does not have bechira, does not have choice. It has choice within its framework, it has choice, but out of that box it has no choice. The animal has choice between eating the grass here or the grass there, which really that also says Chassidus that he doesn't have the choice. It's all in a matrix, it's all locked in. He goes exactly where he needs to go. If you step foot right, he has to go left or whatever it is. He can't, everything is lined up, except for a Yid has Bechira. You have choice that you can create a better day, which means that instantly, now you can change your life. Your life today will never be the same again by simply tapping into your belief system to Simcha. And that is Mechis HaMalek. And that is Parsha Zachar. Zachar is you have to remember. Remember your first desire. Remember the first desire. And that will, Bezat Hashem, talk more about as we get closer to Purim. It's a couple of days. Remembering the first desire. There are multiple desires. There are many desires. It says in Chassidus, there's 5 desires. There's 5 levels of Ratzon. The first Ratzon was something that just passed by. There were many, there's Ein Sof Ratzonos. But he chose this Ratzon, which was, this is the Ratzon that we're at right now. We'll leave it at that for now. So we also know that Mazel Gover, there's no Ayin Hara, there's no bad evil eye on in Chodesh Adar, because there's no Ayin Hara is when I am in low frequency. But when I'm still debating who's the boss and if there is a higher power, then I am subjected to Ayin Hara. But if you know that everything is Enet Mavad and you're tapping into that high frequency, that everything is good, because ultimately our driver is Achta V'Chesed. It's all good. It's the highest. It's good. Everything is good. It's Mulerachim. It's love. It's compassionate. It's Simcha. Just like when you celebrate, when you throw a party and you celebrate, your worst enemy walks in, you'll give him a hug because you're forgiving. You're in a high vibration, and that low conscious stuff doesn't take up any space. It doesn't take up any place. So with that in mind, knowing that there is, with Simcha, that's how you separate yourself from the doubt, from cooling you off. I don't know if I finished that thought, right? When you are vulnerable, when you're happy, that's when he comes in and he starts pulling you down. So tapping into Simcha. Have an awesome Shabbos, and there should be a successful Mechias Amalek once and for all. And what that looks like is that once you have a positive moment, you never step out of it. You stay present with it. Good Shabbos.